A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic escalation of military action, at least 31 individuals have lost their lives in Yemen following a series of intense airstrikes ordered by U.S. President Donald Trump. This military response comes in direct retaliation to attacks by the Houthi movement on shipping vessels in the Red Sea. The Houthis, an armed group that has maintained control over significant portions of Yemen, have vowed to meet escalation with escalation after the U.S. strikes on Saturday. Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Saree claimed that the group targeted the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman and its accompanying warships with a barrage of 18 ballistic and cruise missiles, alongside a drone attack. The U.S. has yet to officially respond to these claims from the Houthis. Following the airstrikes, which were reported to have resulted in numerous casualties, including many women and children, the Houthi Health Ministry spokesperson Anis al-Asbahi stated that the strikes were concentrated in the capital, Sana'a, and other regions such as Sada, al-Baida, and Rada. The death toll and injuries have raised alarms, with reports indicating that over 100 individuals were wounded, most of whom were civilians. In a statement, President Trump emphasized that the U.S. would employ overwhelming lethal force until the Houthis cease their hostile actions against maritime traffic in the vital Red Sea corridor. The Houthis' recent attacks on shipping were reportedly initiated in response to the ongoing conflict in Gaza, as they expressed solidarity with the Palestinian cause. The group has reiterated its commitment to continue its naval operations until the blockade on Gaza is lifted and humanitarian aid is allowed to flow into the region. Despite a temporary halt in their attacks following a ceasefire in January, the Houthis resumed hostilities after their deadline for aid deliveries to Gaza expired. In a press briefing, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declared that the U.S. would conduct unrelenting strikes against the Houthis until they cease targeting U.S. assets and global shipping routes. He underscored that the military campaign was also intended as a warning to Iran, which has been accused of supporting the Houthis. Hegseth's comments were echoed by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who confirmed that military actions would persist until the Houthis could no longer threaten shipping lanes. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz claimed that the strikes had specifically targeted Houthi leadership figures, although these assertions have not been corroborated by the Houthis. Critics of the U.S. military strategy, including former U.S. diplomat Nabil Curry, have condemned the airstrikes as misguided, arguing that the Houthis' resilience cannot be effectively undermined through continued bombing campaigns. Curry suggested that diplomatic measures would be more effective in addressing the ongoing conflict. Meanwhile, tensions have escalated further with Iran, as Trump has warned Tehran to cease its support for the Houthis or face consequences. Iranian officials have denied any direct involvement in the Houthis' military operations, asserting that the group operates independently. The Iranian foreign minister condemned the U.S. strikes as a violation of international law and urged Washington to halt its military actions in Yemen. As the situation continues to develop, the U.S. military's Central Command has indicated that these airstrikes are just the beginning of a larger operation aimed at curtailing Houthi aggression in the region. Observers are closely watching the unfolding events, particularly in light of the ongoing conflict in Gaza and its implications for regional stability. The Houthis, who have positioned themselves as key players in the axis of resistance against Israel, have launched several attacks on international shipping in solidarity with the Palestinians. The recent missile launch from Yemen that landed in Egypt has raised concerns about the potential for further escalation in the region. As the U.S. military prepares for sustained operations, the humanitarian impact of these strikes on the Yemeni population remains a critical concern. Reports from the ground describe chaotic scenes in Sana'a, with hospitals overwhelmed by the influx of injured civilians. Eyewitness accounts reveal the devastation caused by the airstrikes, with residents expressing fear and uncertainty about their safety in the wake of such violence. The previous administration under Joe Biden had taken a more restrained approach to the Houthis, focusing on limiting their capabilities without engaging in extensive military operations. However, the current escalation marks a significant shift in U.S. policy towards a more aggressive military posture in the Middle East. As the conflict unfolds, the international community is urged to consider the broader implications of these actions, particularly in relation to the humanitarian crisis in Yemen and the ongoing struggle for peace in the region. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.